Alright, I have momentum in me for another. Let's do Segos versus John FB. Continuing the Gray Seer playoffs. You can see spoilers up above, what we've already covered, but if you clicked on it, I should have them numbered. So if you clicked on episode 3 and you're like, wait, why am I seeing the results of episodes 1 and 2? Well, that's how chronological shiz works, my friends. Alright, let's fire it up. John versus Segos. John sent it in. Greenskins versus Segos is Slaanesh to start off. John FB. Throw a 0 on there. Then we have Podium Segos. Let's get a 0 out in front of that. Close the casting door. Hey! I'm back. I'm down. What do we got here? For the Greenskins, we have some Orc Boar Boys, Goblins with Spears, the Swamp Things for some terror on the front line, other Stone Trolls, and a bunch of Archers, Ruglin's Armored Orcs, and some Savage Orc R Boys. For a Lord, we have the Night Goblin Warboss with his Rampage and Net, and then we have an Orc Shaman with Brainburster and Fists of Gulk. On the other side, for Slaanesh, Triple Skirmish Cab, including the Riders of the Mighty Serpent, ROR Horsemen, very, very good unit. Hell Striders with Hell Scourges and the ones with their regular spears. Devoted Marauders and Slongors for a front line. The Pleasure Guard, Champions of Slaanesh Regiment of Renown, is very strong. And we have a Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Shadows with Pit of Shades and Melkoths. Neat. Slongor should have a pretty good time in the front line overall, just chewing through goblins, and yeah, they should be fine with that. Gonna have a little harder time against the trolls, but overall they'll be okay. Fermented Fungi is down in the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. He has rampaged and lost melee defense, as he's now surrounded by River Trolls and Orc Boar Boys. But he should still be okay. He's pretty damn tanky. Melee defense of 55 on top of his mount with 80 armor. He'll largely be okay. He's even gonna throw down a Pit of Shades to try and punish the Greenskins for even trying to catch him out. So pretty good start for Slaanesh on the front line. Well, I shouldn't say on the whole front line, because we do have a bunch of Slongors routing under pressure from Orc Boarboy Biggin and Stone Troll charges. So that's going a little tough. In the back line, we have more Slongors. Wow, that is a heaping pile of Slongors just ready to be hit with a Brainburst or something. Anyway, 2 Slongors stuck on 1 Goblin with Spears. We have various Skirmish Cab trying to run away from the Boar Boys as the first Wad does come out. The Pit of Shades was not as punishing as Segos probably wanted it to be on this front line. It did good damage, but there's still a lot of Greenskins here, and his Lord is down to half HP. Pleasure Guard having a tough time fighting on top of Spears and Stone Trolls buffed up by Wa. Now once the Wa wears off, they'll do a little better with 67 melee defense, but already losing half your HP on such an expensive unit is pretty brutal. Slaanesh falling a little bit behind the bounce power, and I would tend to agree. Some of the Greenskins are starting to rout, where Slaanesh can just chase them off the map and get a bunch of army passive and whatnot. But there's a lot of Greenskins still very healthy, still very present. We have Orc Boar Biggins and the Swamp Things rotating towards the back line, where other Orc Boys are just pushing off Hell Striders. Skirmish Cab continue to fire. They're getting counter-fired by Ruglin's Armored Orcs and other Savage Orc R-Boys, so this isn't exactly free either, as Hellstriders try and take out more Savage Orc R-Boys on the flank. Greenskins pulling a little further ahead on the bounce power, and I would tend to agree, as most things are just kind of working out for them. Pleasure Guard down to less than 1,000 HP. Hellstriders also charge in, trying to lower the leadership, the Orc Boarboy Biggins, to get them to rout or something, but there's no terror over here, so these Boarboy Biggins have nothing really to worry about. The Pleasure Guard are going to fade away. And that's looking like that, just kind of the tide of Slaanesh breaking upon the front line of the Greenskins. I will say the Slongors did less good than I had expected. Fist Scork is out on Orc Boar Biggins to bypass the physical resistance of this Slaanesh mount. I guess it's only 5%, so a big whoop, but still good. Melee attack, melee defense, very good as well. Taking out those Hell Striders. The Hell Striders had a very tough time. The Archers they were trying to compromise were Savage Orc R-Boys. That didn't go great. And then obviously, Hellstriders of any variety don't do particularly well against the heavily armored Boar Boy cavalry Greenskins can field. Spited to Bad Moon is out, giving extra damage and bonus versus large for all these troops in this blob. That is looking like GG. I mean, Segos has 2 Skirmish Cav alive and well with tons of ammo over here, but that's about it. We have 1 Slongor that's not doing well, a rampaged Chaos Sorcerer Lord surrounded by stuff, and yeah, he just throws in the towel. explosive start here from the Greenskins. 9 value on the Shaven, the Night Goblin War Boss. That's funny. Did not do much melee. Orc Spears, Goblin Spears did fine. River Trolls didn't get much value, but were there. Stone Trolls got way better value fighting those champions of Slaanesh. Orc Boar Boys, mixed value depending on if they got good engagements or not. For Sagos, his Lord got decent value. Skirmish Cav really struggled to get much going here. Slongors didn't do as well as I would have expected. And then Hellstriders also struggled to get their value back. So yeah, it was a bit of a toughie there for the forces of Slaanesh. But it is a best of 3, so there is time. I'll pop you guys over there so you can't see any spoilers for the tournament later on. Game 2. Kislev versus Greenskins. Sego's also going, fine, you want to play the OP Greenskins? I can also play the OP Greenskins. John going with a weird build. Ice Guard versus the Greenskins. Now maybe his theory here is just as many hybrid units as possible. He has a bunch of Kossars with spears. Then Kislevite warriors, who obviously aren't hybrid, but just halberds, and then they're backed up by Ice Guard with glaives, and then regular Kossars. So it's a lot of shooting and a lot of hybrid stats. Hopefully, I think John is thinking that, like, man, if Spider Riders or Wolf Riders get back here, they're just not going to get much damage done. The spears can beat them back, or maybe if Boar Boys get back here, we'll do okay, but who knows. Triple Horse Archer as well, and then of course an Ice Witch of Tempest on the Frostworm. Haven't seen this monster yet this tournament, first sighting for me personally, and they brought Blizzard as their only spell. Still a good terror causing monster, still a decent duelist. Greenskins don't like being spooked, so it all makes sense. On the other side for the Greenskins, we do have Savage Orc Boar Boys and Orc Boar Boy Biggins, some Squig Herds, so a lot of armor piercing mass. But to try and force Kislev to come to them, we have the Hammer of Gork or Goblin Rock Lava in the background, and then Goblin frontline, some with spears, some without, including the Night Goblin ROR, Spinning Loons. They have Morgan's Raging Marauders and the Death Creepers. The Goblin Great Shaman, don't even try it. And Vindictive Glare for, I guess, abilities and spells, because one of those is ability, one of those is a spell. I don't know, I really like this Kislev build versus what the Greenskins brought. I'm a little concerned the Greenskins might just get shot to death. We'll see. We'll see if they can get through that front line explosively and get onto... I guess the archers are also the front line, but you know what I mean. Like, actually kill them quickly instead of just getting shot to death. Horse archers... playing with fire a bit. I don't know why they're trying to engage the Death Creepers. Looks like Sego's was maybe a little caught off guard too. Like, whoa, 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 why are they engaging me? Should I run away? Should I fight them? And now he's decided to just fight them. The poison arrows will slow them down as they try and run away, and then the poison damage in melee will also slow them down, but with the Frostworm hanging out real close by, doesn't look like the Greenskins want to overcommit for that. But the Horse Archers really want this fight for some reason, so the Death Creepers like are getting a little skeeved out, starting to skitter away, deciding whatever schemes the Kislevites have, they want nothing to do with it and run away, as the Horse Archer is going to get butchered by the Broken Tusk Mob. This all might have been a bait for the Ice Witch of Tempest, but I don't know. I'm really confused with what's going on over here. Here's a Blizzard, but the Broken Tusk Mob are going to dodge it, and now you have a Goblin Great Shaman going to 1v1 the Ice Witch, and there's a ton of Boar Boy Biggin support around here to surround this lady and just kill her off. So really, really tough start here for the Kislevite caster. She even throws out her Snow Leopard Summon and tries to get away, which is down to half HP. I just want to check on the front line real quick, then we'll get back to her. Boar Boys are trying to get around the flanks, but you can see these Kislevite halberds just sitting on all forms of the flanks is making that difficult. The frontline fight is going okay for the Greenskins, not amazing. Some of their goblins are routing, other goblins are doing all right. With Wah coming out, they are trying to break through, but again, that front line is just Kossars with spears, so they're pretty easy to kill even for goblins. Ice Witch of Tempest is below half HP though after that first engagement. Really did not go her way. Greenskins take an early lead on the balance of power, but the shooty shoots are now in range. You can see the Greenskins are starting to actually take a lot of damage from all of the archers of various kinds. Just getting good damage out though. These Ice Guard with glaives have taken a lot of damage already. Looks like Hammer of Gork has just been pounding these guys, and now with a Greenskin charge in, they'll get by our blood. They're not going to rout right now, but they will rout soon. You can see they do give some decent damage back in Orc Boulder Biggins, though. Yeah, they even rout those guys off. Okay. Kislev still getting decent damage out. Vindictive Glare spam is going to whittle down that Ice Witch of Tempest, make sure that she cannot do as she pleases in the late game. No healing for her, so any damage will stick. Blizzard onto the Orc Boar Biggins, held in place by the Horse Archers, but those guys were already half health and we're losing a full Horse Archer for it. It's definitely like a good trade overall, but when you consider the Winds of Magic spent to make that trade happen, it becomes less good. Kislevite warriors still doing pretty well. Everywhere I look, they seem to have high HP pools, but the target selection of Psegos has been good because all the units that are routing or almost dead are archers of some variety. So he's a pretty good target selection, not getting too distracted by the halberds and focusing instead on either archers or hybrid archers. Where are Ice Guard these days? There's one. I swear there's two in the build. So there's one pretty much dead. And there's the other one. That one's fully alive. It's fine. It is turning and trying to fire at the Goblin Great Shaman. Those big spiders can be super weak to concentrated arrow fire. We just haven't had a good opportunity for Kislev to get concentrated arrow fire. Like one Ice Guard turning and shooting at it is going to be decent poke. But, you know, in the early game, if he had dared to approach the front line with that Goblin Great Shaman, all of the archers would have just made mincemeat out of him. Orc Boar Biggins managed to finish off the Ice Witch of Tempest. I mean, obviously, the Goblin Great Shaman got the last hit, but there was boar boys surrounding her and getting good damage out before he came over and kill stole, so. Looks like army losses is hitting as a bunch of very healthy units have Buyer Blood procced. And once that wears off, the army losses tickle will go over. And Greenskins 2-0 in this playoff series. Who would have thunk? Was a bit of a toughie. Ice Guard Glaive not really getting the value they wanted. As I get paranoid and make sure I am recording. Just cast 2 games with not recording. That would have been dumb and silly. Goblin frontline did okay. They did their jobs. Rucklin's Armored Orcs did well. Boar Boys, mixed value depending on the engagements they got. Skirmish Cav did okay. Oof. Rock Lava got a lot of value considering that wasn't like a super long game. Damn. All right, bring it back over to the bracket just so you don't see spoilers for other series. Obviously, you know that there is a game 3. But that doesn't mean you get to know everything. Wow, okay. Segos is just copying John's homework now. So John goes to Dark Elves for game 3. Segos is like, all right, you're going to play OP Kislev? I'm going to play OP Kislev. Bruh. Bruh. All right, 1-1. John pulls out Rakarth on Brachus with Beast Slaver as his only ability. We have some Dark Riders. We have Cold One Knights, a front line of Witch Elves, and then a Sorceress of Beasts with Flock of Doom. Aside for Kislev, a couple Horse Archers, a front line of Armored Kossars, Kislevite Warriors backing them off, so a lot of melee infantry. Then we have the Wolf Hearts, Akshina Ambushers with their net, Ice Witch of Tempest, Blizzard, and some Kossovite Dervishes. Damn, that is a melee-heavy Kislev army that you don't usually see. We also have some flanking Dervishes, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous that Flock of Doom plus good breath attacks could kill a lot of infantry, and then Witch Elves are also just kind of blenders. I know Armored Kossars are armored, but still, I don't know. Witch Elves, when they pop their Fury thing, they can butcher things that don't have a crazy high melee defense. Dark Riders do get Wolf Hearts netted, so that plus pistol shots. Gonna take out 2 Dark Riders for free at the start. Dark Elves not happy with that, but they're just trying to get into melee. They really didn't bring any skirmish, any shooting, any artillery, nothing like that. As Brachus did get a good shot down the side of these Armored Kossars. Good breath attack, 250 value already from just that one. And the pistols are still shooting these Witch Elves, and the crossfire is looking really brutal. Their leadership's starting to fall. I hope they pop their rampage potions right away as soon as they get in, otherwise they're probably going to rout before they ever get to use those. Witch Brew's down for some of the Witch Elves. One of them's already routing from some cavalry charges. We gotta see Witch Brews from the other ones. There we go. Up to 68 melee attack plus a bonus versus infantry of 8, so they will melt any infantry they are fighting. The cavalry's having to back off. The Colden Knights coming in over the top, and the cavalry the Kislevites have was just more Kossovite dervishes, so don't be too spooked by these cavalry banners shown on the front line. Very nice blizzard in from Kislev, trying to get rid of these Witch Elves that are supporting Rakarth and leave Rakarth all alone as the Wolfhearts continue to fire at him. Get a little bit of damage in. This is not your Dark Elf Dragon that has Soul Stealer to heal up. This is a Dark Elf Dragon with no healing. All health is final. The Dark Elves have some problematic engagements on the sides here. We can see Kislevite Warriors getting to fight Dark Riders pretty consistently is rough. The Colden Knights are peeling away from that fight after killing off more dervishes. How is the front line of Kislev holding up against the Witch Elf assault? On this right flank, it's not going very well for the Kislevites. We see already some armored Kossars and dervishes have given their lives for the great cause, and now other ones are having to refill their place. Kislevite Warriors especially don't want to fight Witch Elves. Beautiful breath attack down from Brachus just as Cold Knights are charging in. A little bit of friendly fire, but overall definitely worth it. Center for Kislev is doing okay. It's still very contested, and this left flank seems to be abandoned by both parties. Like, the Witch Elves technically got through, and there's a Dark Rider here, but there's more Kislevite assets, so it's not really a big deal. Balance of power is in Kislev's favor, as we do have some Kossovite dervishes in the background chasing down anything that routes. We do have a fake snow leopard that'll fade away eventually. Balance of power. Just feeling good about the Dark Elves overall. The Kislevite overall health bars. Murderous Prowess has procced. It has 20 seconds left. And the Wolfhearts are trying to get to safety. If any real dedicated cavalry can get onto them, that could be a nice big win for some balance of power in this late game. High health archer unit with lots of ammunition, that's a big balance of power get, but it's still pretty awful in melee, as we can see that Golden Knights got onto it and it's already lost half its HP. So that could be a good way of keeping the balance of power on your side. And also in the late game, I will say that usually heavy cavalry with high HP is more worth it than infantry with high HP, because cycle charging can kill infantry pretty quickly. Brachus lands once again onto the Ice Witch. Beast Slaver cast by Rakarth onto his Mighty Dragons. Really good damage out onto her. She does start to get away now. Brachus and Rakarth, 3,000 HP. Ice Witch about the same, so very similar HP values as she runs for the woods to try and get, I guess, some archer support, but there is no melee support around for her at all. Dark Elves have all of a sudden taken over the balance of power as the Wolfhearts have died off and a lot of other units have routed. They're feeling pretty good about that. Big swing of balance power. I was confused because, like, I feel like this is looking fine for the Dark Elves, but the balance power is starting to get like 1/3 them, 2/3 Kislev, and I was a little confused. A blizzard is down, but we're getting to the difficult point in the game where you only have an AoE spell like that. There's not a lot of good targets. Maybe they should have saved it for this cold one night, but yeah, everything else is pretty tattered, so not going to get a lot of good blizzards. I guess they just wanted to cast one on these Witch Elves and try and get something done. But yeah, with a pretty healthy cold one night, maybe Sagos just didn't see it. Maybe he has enough Winds of Magic for another one, but is worried that if he tried to extend that way, Rakarth might dive him and do some damage. I don't know. No one knows the inner thoughts of the Sagos. Rakarth diving down towards the Ice Witch Tempest, who is running away. Does take a hit in the back from Rakarth, having a tough time getting away. His speed is superior when he's flying. On the ground, I think they're roughly similar, but she is just going to turn and fight with some Kislevite horse archer support. The horse archers really aren't to do that much damage in melee, but it is to just try and maybe occasionally distract Rakarth from hitting the caster all the time while she gets shots out. But it is kind of a desperate last stand. We have Golden Knights coming into support. Rakarth is currently kicking the Kislevite Witch's ass. Balance of power goes pretty critically far against the Kislevites. We're honestly going to get army losses pretty soon, and the Golden Knights hadn't even arrived at this fight yet. Rakarth won it without them. She dies, and with her go the chances of Kislev in this game. GG. John FB. Rakarth got 2,300 value. Pretty nice stuff from him. Witch Elves did do their jobs. A couple of them got murdered, but the other ones killed a lot of Kislevite frontline units, which they needed to. Golden Knights did pretty well overall. Sagos, his lord did all right. Kislevite Warriors did pretty well. Armored Kossars struggled a bit more to get their value back compared to the Kislevite Warriors, and then Kossovite Dervishes just got wrecked wherever they went. GG. to the bracket. So Sigur's, no, not the cropping function. No, God, not the cropping function. Okay. Just that, yep. John FB wins, and then I can reveal this, because Butcherbird got a bye round. So Butcherbird will fight John FB in the quarterfinals. And I think we'll do a one series thing for this video. So there's your series. All right, goodbye. Goodbye forever. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.